Today, you're about to see Civil War soldiers in a way few ever have, brought back to life through rare photographs transformed into stunning color. These are real faces, real stories, and real moments from a divided America. Let's step into the past and witness the Civil War as you've never seen it before. Before we begin, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more restored moments from history. Sergeant William H. Tunnard, Pelican Rifles, Company K, 3rd Louisiana Infantry. Tunnard enlisted on 17 May 1861 in New Orleans. He served some time in the Commissariat Department. Tunnard became a POW when Vicksburg, Mississippi fell to federal forces in July 1863, but he was later paroled and continued to serve. He was surrendered in Baton Rouge in June 1865. He later wrote a history of his regiment. Tunnard died in 1916 and is buried in Shreveport, Louisiana. Colonel Eugene Wagaman, 10th Louisiana Infantry. Wagaman, born in 1826 in New Orleans to a wealthy family. He raised a company of cavalry when the war began, but the CS government declined its service. He then enlisted as a private in the 10th Louisiana and quickly rose to regimental command. He was captured on 1st July 1862 at the Battle of Malvern Hill. He later served as a brigade commander and was wounded at 3rd Winchester in 1864. He survived the war. Private Eloy Elmas Campbell, Company K, Big Cane Rifles, 16th Louisiana Infantry. He enlisted on 29 September 1861 at Camp Moore, Louisiana. He became promoted to at least 4th Corporal and possibly Sergeant, but was reduced in rank to private for unknown reasons about 2 months after the Battle of Shiloh. He was wounded on 22 July 1864 during the Battle of Atlanta. Colonel Edward G. Randolph, 9th Louisiana Infantry. Randolph enlisted as the captain of the Beausier Volunteers, Company D at Camp Moore on July 7, 1861, eventually becoming the regimental commander. In April 1862, upon reorganization of the regiment, Randolph lost his command of the regiment. He worked in conscript duty for the remainder of the war, it appears. 2nd Lieutenant Zachariah Jordan Howell, Caddo Guards, Company A, 25th Louisiana Infantry. Howell enlisted in May 1862 as a private, later being promoted to 2nd lieutenant. By later in the war, he was absent without leave and his name was eventually dropped from the rolls. Private William Huntington Richards, Company E, Crescent Regiment, Louisiana Infantry, and 5th Company, Washington Light Artillery. Richards enlisted in the Crescent Regiment on 5th March 1862 in New Orleans to serve for 90 days. He then joined the 5th Company, Washington Light Artillery, on 26 July 1862. From that point on, he was present for duty and he was surrendered in Meridian, Mississippi in 1865. Richards died in 1910 and is buried in New Orleans. First Sergeant Andrew D. Smith, Company C, 2nd Louisiana Infantry. Smith was born in Butler County, Alabama. He enlisted as a private on 11th May 1861 in New Orleans, later being promoted to 1st Sergeant. He was killed on 1st July 1862 at the Battle of Malvern Hill, Virginia. Private Edwin Francis Jemison, Company C, 2nd Louisiana Infantry. He enlisted on 11th May 1861, and he was killed at the Battle of Malvern Hill, Virginia, on 1st July 1862. Smith was Jemison's 1st Sergeant, serving in the same company. 3rd Sergeant Hilary Herbert Ham, Jr., Company D, 17th Louisiana Infantry. Ham enlisted on 29 August 1861 at Camp Moore, Louisiana. He became a POW when Vicksburg, Mississippi, capitulated to federal forces in July 1863. He was also demoted from sergeant to private for unknown reasons. Ham died in 1889 and is buried in Farmerville, Louisiana. Corporal Charles K. O'Neill, Evergreen Invincibles, Company H, 16th Louisiana Infantry. O'Neill, born in Alabama, enlisted in New Orleans as a private on 5 March 1862, later being promoted to corporal. He was killed at the Battle of Chickamauga, Georgia, on 20th September 1863. Major Camp Flournoy, 19th Louisiana Infantry. Flournoy enlisted at Camp Moore, Louisiana, as a first lieutenant in Company G on 11th December 1861, later being promoted to major. He was paroled at the end of the war in Meridian, Mississippi. Flournoy died in 1994 and is buried in Greenwood, Louisiana. Sergeant James Monroe Manning, Independent Rangers, Company E, 12th Louisiana Infantry. Manning enlisted as a private on 1 December 1861 in Columbus, Kentucky, later being promoted to sergeant. He was killed at the Battle of Champions Hill, Mississippi, on May 1863. First Lieutenant William Benjamin Stovall, Company F, 27th Louisiana Infantry. Stovall, born in Alabama, enlisted on 16 March 1862 in New Orleans. He became a POW when Vicksburg, Mississippi capitulated to federal forces in July 1863, but was later paroled and continued to serve. Stovall survived the war, died in 1908, and is buried in Beeville, B County, Texas.
Corporal Austin William Smith, Company E, 4th Louisiana Infantry Battalion. Smith enlisted on 15 August 1861 at Natchez, Mississippi. He was absent sick early on in his enlistment, as were many soldiers. On 28 July 1864, at the Battle of Ezra Church, Georgia, Smith captured the flag of a U.S. artillery battery and was appointed ensign for his deed. Smith was slightly wounded in this action. The 4th Battalion was consolidated with other Louisiana units and was called the Pelican Regiment, and Smith served as the color bearer. Due to depleted numbers, the Pelican Regiment did not take part in the battles of Franklin and Nashville, but they did later serve in Mobile and at Spanish Fort. They were sent to North Carolina to rejoin the AOT and ended the war there. Smith died in 1911 and is buried at Natchez, Mississippi. Chatham Roberto Wheat was one of the most colorful and widely traveled military figures to emerge from the American Civil War. Born on April 9, 1826, in Alexandria, Virginia, Wheat moved with his family to Louisiana as a young man and quickly developed a reputation for fearlessness and restless ambition. Though he briefly studied law, he found his calling not in the courtroom, but on distant battlefields, becoming a soldier of fortune long before the Civil War drew national attention. In the late 1840s, Wheat served with distinction in the Mexican-American War, an experience that launched him into a decade-long series of international military adventures. Over the years, he involved himself in conflicts across the Western Hemisphere and even abroad in Europe. He joined filibustering expeditions in Cuba, participated in campaigns in Central America, and later fought alongside Giuseppe Garibaldi's forces in Italy during that country's struggle for unification. These experiences shaped him into a leader known for bravery, improvisation, and a willingness to face daunting odds. In the 1860s, when the American Civil War broke out, Wheat returned to Louisiana and began organizing a unit that would become legendary, the 1st Special Battalion Louisiana Volunteers, better known as the Louisiana Tigers. The battalion was composed of men from New Orleans and surrounding areas, rough, independent, and fiercely loyal to Wheat. Their distinctive appearance and bold reputation quickly set them apart within the Confederate Army. Wheat's leadership style was direct and personal. He inspired his men through confidence and camaraderie. And despite their reputation for rowdiness, he worked to maintain discipline on the field. Under his command, the Tigers saw action early in the war, including at the First Battle of Manassas, where Wheat's battalion played a key role in the Confederate defensive line on Henry Hill. In 1862, the Louisiana Tigers entered the Peninsula Campaign as part of Stonewall Jackson's forces. Wheat's battalion was heavily engaged during the 7 Days Battles, a series of intense confrontations outside Richmond. On June 27th, at the Battle of Gainesville, Georgia, Wheat was seriously wounded. Though he was carried from the field, his injuries were ultimately fatal. He died that same day at the age of 36. Even in death, Wheat's legend lived on. His battalion continued to fight throughout the war, and the nickname Louisiana Tigers expanded to describe larger elements of Louisiana troops within the Army of Northern Virginia. Wheat himself became remembered not only for his role as a Confederate officer, but also for the extraordinary globe-spanning adventures that defined his life before 1861. Chatham Robert O. Wheat remains one of the Civil War's most distinctive personalities, a man shaped by international conflict, bound by loyalty to his adopted state, and remembered for leading one of the most famous fighting units of the Confederacy.
Thank you for watching this journey through history. If these restored images helped you see the Civil War in a new way, make sure to like, subscribe, and share the video to help others discover it too.